Tokyo, a beacon of modernity and innovation, thrives with its towering skyscrapers, dazzling neon lights, and bustling streets. Yet, amidst the urban grandeur, a wealthy family became the focus of a chilling crime, an innocent child poisoned by her own loved ones. What could drive them to such a heinous act? Has greed and power blinded all moral values? Today, we unravel the dark secrets hidden beneath the glittering surface. In the heart of Tokyo lies Taito Ward, a vibrant mix of tradition and modernity, where historic landmarks blend seamlessly with the splendor of the present era. Within this district, in the famous Asakusa neighborhood, lived the Hoso family. They were affluent, residing in a luxurious duplex apartment spanning the 9th and 10th floors of a high-rise, a coveted position envied by many. On the serene morning of March 13, 2013, a frantic emergency call shattered Asakusa's tranquility. Kenichi Hoso, a 43-year-old man, reported to the police that his youngest daughter, Miho, just 4 years old, had collapsed and was unconscious. He stated that she wasn't breathing and seemed to be in a critical state. When the police and rescue team arrived, they entered an opulent yet strangely unsettling apartment. Miho lay on the living room floor, clad only in a diaper, her frail body lifeless. Without hesitation, she was rushed to the nearest hospital. However, it was too late. Miho had passed away before arrival. As news of Miho's death spread, no one could have foreseen that this tragic incident was merely the beginning of a gripping investigation. Right at the scene, one detail puzzled the police: Kenichi's demeanor. He showed no visible grief, no tears, no shock. Instead, he remained disturbingly calm, as if his daughter's death was no surprise. In his initial testimony, Kenichi recounted that around 8 a.m. that morning, Miho woke up complaining of fatigue. After a light breakfast, she started experiencing stomach pain and collapsed. He and his wife, Sho, searched for medicine in the house, but it was too late. In a panic, they called the police. Kenichi's account sounded plausible, but was riddled with inconsistencies when compared with actual evidence. Firstly, the Hoso family's apartment was very close to a major hospital. If Miho was in severe distress, why didn't they rush her to the hospital instead of searching for medicine at home? Secondly, why was the emergency call made to the police and not directly to emergency medical services? The time of Miho's death, determined by doctors, was around 6 a.m., indicating she had been dead for at least 3 hours before the police were contacted. This discrepancy raised red flags for investigators. They began to suspect this wasn't a random accident, but a meticulously concealed crime. Each question led to deeper suspicions. Why was there a delay in calling the authorities? Was this time used to stage the scene? Why would such a tragedy occur within a family that seemed to have it all: wealth, status, and a picture-perfect life? The initial investigation quickly revealed that this was far from a straightforward story of a family grieving the loss of a beloved child. Beneath the surface lurked shadows of greed, pressure, and simmering conflicts, culminating in an unimaginable tragedy. The lively streets of Asakusa were now the epicenter of a case that would shock the nation. When the police launched their investigation, the initial doubts about Kenichi's strange demeanor were swiftly supported by findings at the scene and forensic results. First, officers collected Miho's body for an autopsy, an action met with fierce opposition from both Kenichi and his wife Sho. They insisted that Miho had died of a sudden illness and demanded that the police refrain from interfering in family matters. However, their vehement objections only heightened suspicions. The autopsy results were a bombshell. Forensic analysis revealed the presence of ethylene glycol in Miho's system, a toxic chemical commonly used in antifreeze solutions for vehicles. This substance is colorless, odorless, and slightly sweet, making it easy to mistake for a beverage. It is a lethal poison, with even a small amount capable of causing death. Additionally, traces of olanzapine, a prescription drug used to treat severe mental disorders, were also found in Miho's body. Miho's time of death was determined to be around 6 a.m., at least 3 hours before Kenichi called the police. This discrepancy exposed a major flaw in Kenichi's account, where he claimed Miho was still conscious at 8 a.m. Combined with the family's failure to call for emergency medical assistance immediately, the police increasingly believed this was no natural incident. Simultaneously, a search of the Hoso family's apartment was conducted. Despite its luxurious exterior, the interior was shockingly disorganized. Furniture was scattered, a foul odor permeated the air, and the disarray stood in stark contrast to the image of a wealthy, orderly family. In the refrigerator's lower compartment, officers discovered several small bottles containing a colorless liquid. Later, these were identified as ethylene glycol. Notably, this compartment was beyond the reach of 4-year-old Miho, making it impossible for her to have ingested the poison accidentally. It was unlikely that she accessed the substance on her own. When questioned about the bottles, Kenichi appeared confused and denied any knowledge of them. He claimed to have no idea how they got there and blamed his wife, Sho, as the one responsible for managing household matters. However, this assertion lacked supporting evidence, and Sho herself remained silent, refusing to answer any police questions. Another perplexing detail emerged. No olanzapine was found in the apartment. This raised questions because if the family had been using the drug, it would have required a doctor's prescription and should have been stored at home. This suggested that the drug was acquired or sourced illegally. Based on these findings, police began forming a hypothesis that Miho's death was no accident, but the result of a carefully orchestrated plan. The presence of ethylene glycol and olanzapine in Miho's body indicated intentional poisoning. Notably, such toxic substances could not naturally appear in a typical household. They had to be obtained and administered by someone with a clear motive. The investigation extended beyond the crime scene to examine the Hoso couple's recent financial transactions and behavior. Investigators discovered that, despite their valuable assets, the family had been experiencing significant financial strain. Debts linked to real estate and failed business ventures had created immense pressure. This led to the theory that the motive for the crime might be financial in nature. Meanwhile, investigators continued interrogating Kenichi and Sho. Both exhibited an unusual level of determination. Kenichi repeatedly insisted he had no knowledge of the chemical bottles in the refrigerator and maintained that his wife was entirely responsible for household management. Sho, seemingly prepared for questioning, maintained an unsettling silence. The contradictions, silence, and physical evidence collected from the scene gradually painted a clearer picture of what might have transpired. Police began focusing on the theory that the Hoso couple conspired to poison their youngest daughter for some ulterior motive. However, the most pressing question remained unanswered. How could they carry out such a heartless act? Was this the result of sheer desperation or a meticulously calculated scheme? As the case delved deeper, the darkness behind the glittering facade of the Hoso family became increasingly evident. To better understand the motives and psychology of the Hoso couple, police delved into their past. What the investigation revealed not only complicated the case further, but also exposed long-existing cracks within the seemingly perfect family. Kenichi Hoso was born into a wealthy family with a solid business foundation. His parents were self-made entrepreneurs who had risen from nothing through hard work and bold investments in real estate. They amassed a vast fortune, with the duplex apartment Kenichi lived in being just a small fraction of their assets. As the youngest of 3 siblings, Kenichi was the apple of his parents' eye and was groomed from an early age to inherit the family empire. However, Kenichi had no desire to follow the path laid out for him. He longed for independence and a chance to prove himself. After graduating from university with financial backing from his parents, he founded a media company specializing in short videos and live stream shopping. But his lack of experience and poor management skills led to the company's collapse in less than 6 months. This failure not only shattered Kenichi's self-esteem, but also strained his relationship with his parents. In a fit of anger, his father demanded that he return to work for the family business. But Kenichi refused and moved out. During his time of independence, Kenichi met Sho, a woman whose past was a stark contrast to his own. Sho was born into poverty. Her parents divorced when she was young, leaving her and her mother to struggle financially. Her mother described her as a temperamental child, prone to anger and extreme behavior. During high school, Sho became obsessed with a music idol and even threatened her mother to get money for the idol's albums. After finishing high school, Sho left home without a word. She moved to Tokyo in hopes of changing her life, but without skills or support, she quickly found herself homeless. Fortunately, a bar owner took her in, offering her a job and a place to stay. However, Sho's demanding and reckless nature soon strained this arrangement. After repeatedly causing trouble for the bar owner's family, she was asked to leave. Kenichi and Sho crossed paths at a bar where she was working as a hostess. At 21, Kenichi was captivated by her uniqueness, the fierce determination and boldness he had never seen in the women from his social circle. Their relationship progressed rapidly, and they married after a brief courtship. Initially, their marriage was passionate and full of promise, but over time, the differences in their personalities and pasts began to show. Sho's controlling personality and emotional instability made her the dominant figure in the household. Meanwhile, Kenichi, worn down by repeated failures and family pressure, became increasingly passive, leaving most decisions to his wife. Despite having 3 children together, they rarely invested time in caring for or bonding with them. Neighbors reported that the children were often left to their own devices or watched over by household staff. The simmering tensions between Kenichi and Sho escalated as they faced severe financial difficulties. Despite their substantial assets, failed investments had plunged the Hoso family into debt. These financial strains directly impacted their relationship and, most notably, their treatment of their children. Miho, the youngest daughter, appeared to be the greatest victim of this high-pressure environment. Acquaintances remarked that Miho was frequently scolded and ignored by her mother. To Sho, Miho wasn't a source of joy, but a burden. The psychological scars from Sho's own past, combined with current pressures, seemed to have stripped her of empathy, making her increasingly cold toward her own child. As the police pieced together the events of the past, they saw how the combination of Kenichi's passivity and Sho's extremism created a perfect storm for tragedy. One partner lacked the will to resist, while the other sought control at all costs. This dynamic had turned the family into a smoldering fire waiting to ignite. But even with a clearer understanding of the couple's circumstances and psychology, one question remained unanswered. What truly drove them to the point of poisoning their own daughter? Was it resentment, despair, or a hidden motive yet to be uncovered? The clues to come would gradually shed light on this dark secret. The investigation deepened, gradually piecing together the puzzle of this heinous crime. Police not only relied on evidence collected at the scene, but also meticulously examined the Hoso couple's financial transactions and recent behavior. The findings were shocking, turning this case from a mere mysterious death into something far more sinister. During their review of transactions, investigators uncovered receipts showing that ethylene glycol was purchased by Sho Hoso herself through an online store. While this chemical is legally used in industrial applications, there was no legitimate reason for it to be present in a family household. This discovery reinforced the fact that the substance found in Miho's body was no accident. Additionally, financial records revealed that the Hoso family was facing a severe monetary crisis. Despite their significant wealth, mounting debts from failed real estate ventures and business losses had left them financially devastated. Most notably, the investigators discovered a high-value life insurance policy taken out for all family members, including Miho. This raised the alarming possibility that Miho's poisoning was motivated by a scheme to profit from the insurance payout. The investigation didn't stop at physical evidence. Police delved into Kenichi and Sho's social relationships to gain further insight into their motives. Neighbors, friends, and acquaintances confirmed that the couple's relationship was far from harmonious. After years of failures and living under Sho's shadow, Kenichi seemed to have relinquished all control within the family. Meanwhile, Sho, shaped by a difficult childhood and her domineering personality, had taken full control of every aspect of their lives. In such a strained environment, Miho, as the youngest and most vulnerable child, became an easy target. These revelations painted a clearer psychological profile of the two suspects. While Kenichi may not have directly carried out the poisoning, his passivity and lack of responsibility created the conditions for the crime to occur. On the other hand, Sho demonstrated signs of a meticulously calculated plan, from purchasing the chemical to concealing her actions. A crucial breakthrough came from the family's refrigerator. After analyzing the bottles containing ethylene glycol, experts found that the chemical had been diluted and mixed into food and drinks administered to Miho over several days. This not only proved premeditation, but also revealed a chilling cold-bloodedness on the part of the perpetrator. With the final pieces of evidence in place, police officially charged Sho Hoso with premeditated murder. Kenichi, though not directly involved, was charged with complicity and aiding in covering up the crime. As the case went to trial, the brutal details of Miho's poisoning were made public, leaving the nation shocked and outraged. At the trial, Kenichi attempted to shift all blame onto his wife, claiming he was unaware of her poisoning plans. He stated that he was too preoccupied with personal and professional issues to notice Sho's actions. However, the evidence indicated that his indifference and inaction were significant contributing factors to the tragedy. Meanwhile, Sho remained silent throughout the trial. She neither admitted to nor denied the crime. This attitude further fueled public anger, as it showcased her lack of remorse and cold detachment. In the end, the court sentenced Sho to life imprisonment and Kenichi to 10 years in prison. After the sentencing, public discourse surrounding the case continued. How could a seemingly perfect, wealthy family hide such deep-seated conflicts and darkness that led to a horrifying tragedy? The case of the Hoso family sparked debates about parental responsibility, the impact of family environments, and the crushing financial pressures of modern society. The story of Miho serves as a poignant reminder that parenting isn't merely about providing material needs, but also about creating a safe, nurturing environment for children to grow. Though the case has concluded, its resonance lingers, leaving behind lessons about greed, despair, and the tragic consequences of losing sight of love and responsibility. What do you think about this story? Did the pressures of modern life push the Hoso couple toward this path, or does it reflect their true nature? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the discussion. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to catch more thought-provoking content. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next story.